Being a celebrity makes a lot of things easier, but co-parenting isn't one of them. In fact, the members of the Kardashian-Jenner family have some additional challenges when it comes to raising kids despite their splits. We'll check in with Kylie, Kourtney, Khloe, and Rob and see how they're managing to make things work and what rules their exes are expected to follow.
Okay, there's obviously some boundaries that we both need to respect, and I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
Written agreements. Splitting up is never easy, especially when kids are involved. Usually, drawing up a formal custody agreement is one of the first things people do after a breakup, but not in this famous family. Neither Kourtney, Kylie, or Khloe have formal legal agreements with their ex-partners. And keep in mind that Kourtney has not one, but 3 kids with her ex, Scott Disick. She claims it's nice that they didn't have to get attorneys involved in their breakup, and they were able to figure out their own schedules together based on what worked best for the kids and their careers. While this may be a little unusual, it's awesome these less litigious arrangements have worked out for them. However, the same can't be said for Rob Kardashian and his ex, Blac Chyna. These two are constantly in court regarding their daughter Dream and are always making accusations against each other. New family members. A blended family can be a beautiful thing if everyone gets along, and the key word there is definitely if. But the Kardashian-Jenner family seems to live by a kids first motto and are willing to put their personal grudges aside in order to do what's best for their children. What other explanation could there be for Kourtney going on vacation with Scott and his then girlfriend Sophia Richie?
You're a lot more sophisticated with me when Kourtney's around.
Other than to bless us with this extremely awkward episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, of course. When Kourtney was dating Younes Benjima, Scott had to put on a happy face for the sake of his kids and his positive co-parenting relationship with his ex. Second chances. It seems like the members of the Kardashian-Jenner family do their best to stick together with the parents of their children, giving their partners way more chances than they might have otherwise. At least we think that's why Khloe took Tristan back after the first time she found out he cheated on her. Thanks for the sisterly support, Kim. She's given Tristan quite a few chances, and some fans think it's only a matter of time before they end up getting back together again. Kylie and Travis had a surprisingly drama-free breakup, and many fans feel it's only a matter of time before they get back together, considering how close they've remained since their split. Although Scott and Kourtney are full of sage co-parenting wisdom now, their romantic relationship was a roller coaster more often than not, but they tried their best to make things work for the kids. Ultimately, after breaking up, making up, then breaking up again, they realized they were better as friends. But when we're talking about on and off roller coasters, Rob and Blac Chyna might be the best example. After Dream was born, their breakups and makeups were almost impossible to keep track of. Future consideration. The Kardashian-Jenners are a big family, and they plan to keep it that way. While Kim and Kanye finally said no more after 4 kids, it remains to be seen how many the rest of the siblings will have. When Kourtney expressed an interest in having a 4th child, Kim immediately started scheming to make sure she had one, with Scott. Although Kourtney didn't appreciate the interference, Kim's logic was that they already co-parent well and make adorable kids together, so why not have another without bringing another man into the mix? Khloe's struggled with fertility in the past, so when the option of freezing her eggs came up, she looked to Tristan to potentially father another one of her children. Parties. Fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians know they take party planning incredibly seriously. We've seen Kim flip out on Kourtney at the very idea she might not make a holiday photo shoot.
I'm planning it. I'm planning the shoot.
nice to
So
each
we
other.
don't want you in the shoot.
Showing up for parties is pretty much mandatory in this family, and being broken up doesn't give you a pass to miss out. It was totally understandable that Khloe didn't want her ex, Tristan, at True's birthday party, considering how things ended between them. But her mom, Kris, would not let that happen. Even though she claims he snubbed her at the event, Khloe said she's glad True will see photos of both of her parents celebrating her birthday together. Kris and Caitlyn's divorce was notoriously bitter, but Caitlyn was still invited to get-togethers even if she wasn't seen in pics of Stormi's birthday. And of course, Travis was in attendance despite the fact that he and Kylie were no longer together. Keeping up. Reality TV is an important factor in this family, but the siblings disagree on how to approach it with their exes. Travis Scott said the spotlight around his and Kylie's relationship helped contribute to their breakup, and they don't want Stormi on the show until she's old enough to decide for herself whether she wants to take part or not. Then there's Kourtney and Scott, who say they want to act as role models for other people in co-parenting situations. Meanwhile, Blac Chyna was furious that Rob wouldn't sign forms to allow Dream on The Real Blac Chyna, and she was livid that Dream appeared on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Quarantine. Making a co-parenting relationship work takes a ton of effort, and having to quarantine only adds to the pressure. During the COVID-19 pandemic, these co-parents had to switch things up in order to keep the kids happy and keep themselves sane. Kourtney and Scott have been passing their kids back and forth and stay in touch even when Mason, Penelope, and Rain are with the other parent. Kylie and Travis decided to hunker down together so Stormi could spend as much time with them as possible. According to Us Weekly, Khloe and Tristan are in quarantine together, and Tristan is hoping to spend time with True and reconnect with Khloe. Food rules. Everyone knows that Kourtney isn't exactly the biggest fan of sweets and processed food. She won't even let her kids eat food that's been in the microwave, so it's understandable that she has some food rules regarding her kids. According to Kourtney, it's all about moderation, and Scott seems to defer to her about this issue. As for Kylie and Travis, they have to maintain nut-free kitchens for the sake of their daughter Stormi's allergy. Discipline. Being on the same page where discipline is concerned is a must, and Kourtney was proud of Scott for sticking up for their daughter Penelope during a disagreement with Chris's boyfriend, Corey Gamble. After Penelope scratched her nanny during a tantrum, Corey advocated using physical discipline to correct her behavior, a sentiment which did not go over well with Scott, to put it mildly.
A little 6-year-old girl?
Good vibes. It's hard to prepare for being a single parent, but Khloe said her mom and dad were great role models when it came to navigating a split.
I never, ever heard my parents talk disrespectfully about the other one.
Right. She wholeheartedly believes that the best thing she can do for her daughter is to avoid being rude to her father. Kylie and Travis are still super close, and despite their breakup, Kylie called him Dad of the Year in an Instagram post. Kourtney has heaped praise on Scott for being a good dad to their kids and for his own personal growth. Spoiled. Despite the over-the-top birthday parties and lavish vacations, the members of the Kardashian-Jenner family say they want their kids to grow up as normal as possible. Well, relatively speaking. According to Kylie and Travis, they want Stormi to understand how lucky she is, instead of taking her family's fame and fortune for granted. This is a sentiment echoed by Kourtney and Khloe, who want their kids to appreciate what they have and enjoy their childhoods while they still have the chance. Stay in touch. Earlier, we said it's awesome that Kylie, Kourtney, and Khloe have managed to figure out custody without having lawyers involved. But maybe that's why they end up staying in nearly constant contact with their children's fathers. According to Khloe, they stay in touch with Tristan via Zoom and FaceTime when he's not around, and she worries about True when she's away with her dad. Kourtney says FaceTime is a big part of their dynamic too, and both parents make it a point to communicate with their kids every day. The same is true of Travis and Kylie, and we have to wonder what kind of arrangement Rob and Blac Chyna have. She charges her fans $950 for a FaceTime call, but we have a feeling Dream gets them for free. No comparison. Since Khloe and Kylie have one child each, this rule doesn't quite apply to them, at least not yet. But one major parenting rule Kourtney and Scott agree on is that they're not allowed to compare their children to each other. They believe in celebrating Penelope, Mason, and Rain as individuals, instead of forcing them to compete against each other. It seems to be working out really well for them, so it's possible Kylie and Khloe will be copying this rule in the future. Put yourself first. Sometimes the best way to take care of your kids is to take care of yourself. Kourtney, Khloe, and Kylie are all proud of the co-parenting relationships they've cultivated with their respective exes, and for good reason. But Khloe says things would have to change for her and her sisters if things started to get too dramatic. While speaking with the On Purpose podcast, Khloe said her arrangement with Tristan will need to be revised if it starts to interfere with her personal growth, and she seemed confident her sisters feel the same. Hands on. Even though this family can afford an army of nannies, they do their best to stay as hands-on as possible with their kids. Khloe loves being involved with True's life and only wishes Tristan was closer so he could do the same. Kourtney makes it a point to spend as much time with her kids as possible and does her best to help Scott do the same. Kylie and Travis have even taken Stormi on tour so they don't